Gobble gobble everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and since it's November, I shall be talking about Thanksgiving episodes, and today I will be talking about The King of Queens Season 1 Supermarket Story. So, Supermarket Story happened in the first season, and this is actually my very first Thanksgiving episode review. I have a couple of more coming out. They'll be coming out within the couple of following days. I love this show. I've never even spoken about this show, but I love it to death. It's funny because when it was in production, I didn't even know it existed. I didn't realize until the reruns started happening, syndication and everything. I just started watching it every night because he's come on 11. So for years and years, I was just watching it and I fell in love with this show. Then I started buying some of the DVDs and stuff. And then I just never knew how hilarious this CBS comedy was. It stars Kevin Smith, Lisa Remy, which Leah Remini. I'm thinking of the other lady. Okay, it's Leah Remini. It's so funny because I had the hugest crush on her back in the day. She was in those beach episodes of Saved by the Bell, and I had a crush on her ever since. But that was the only thing I ever saw her in until this show a couple of years back. And she always plays that mean, tough girl character and stuff. And then she will, of course, cameoed in Kevin Can't Wait. And then, of course, the debacle that happened in season 2 and the controversy surrounding the exit of the TV wife and bringing her on because they wanted to recapture that King of Queens magic. But that pissed fans off so much that they just stopped watching the show. And then they got canceled after the second season. Personally, they need to bring this show back. It's been a couple of years. Sadly, Jerry Stiller, who plays Arthur, has passed away. May he rest in peace. But, they can still... It'll be kind of hard if they were to bring it back because he was part of that magic that made the show so funny. But the series finale, they now have 2 kids. They have one biological and one adopted. So them kids should be pretty older now, so that should make for a very hilarious show. But King of Queens, this episode. So it starts off with Doug, Carrie, and Arthur. They're in the car and they're looking for a parking spot at a grocery store. One cool thing is that this is actually filmed on location. Now, when it comes to this show, season 1 isn't necessarily my favorite. I like the other seasons a whole lot more and stuff. So they're in the store and they're looking for TV dinners for their Thanksgiving meal because Carrie doesn't know how to cook whatsoever. And so the thing about them is Doug, he's the type of person who loves to eat. He is constantly eating and he asks for money for the gumball machine. And she's all like, well, I have a stick of gum in my purse. He's like, I don't want a stick of gum. I want the ball kind. And she's all like, all right, fine. But if you get the white kind, don't you complain to me. Because you know how the white gumballs are really bitter and stuff. And so he doesn't want that. But so with him, he's walking around the store and he sees his friend Richie. Now Richie was in season 1. He's kind of like the Joey from Friends of the show. He was never really particularly my favorite character. I liked him better on this cop show he was on. But he left after the first season and they start bringing in new characters and stuff. And so Doug, he's like a kind of like a UPS delivery man, but it's called something else. I forget what it's called. And so he does that. And then while Doug is walking around the store and everything, he sees a guy that he has no idea who he is. Oh, I forgot Richie. So Richie's waiting in line. The whole Richie plot is that he only has 3 items. It's a long grocery register checkout line. And he's tired of waiting. So that's pretty much all he does in the entire episode and complains about that. So anyway, Doug, he runs into some man and he doesn't know who this man is, but the man recognizes him very well. It's somebody from his old high school. Now, so Doug's probably been out of high school for the better part of 20, maybe 25, 30 years, something like that. So he has no idea who this man is, but this man remembers him in very extreme detail. And so the man's just like, oh, hey, man, how you doing and everything? I haven't saw you in a long time. And Doug's just kind of he doesn't remember the dude's name. He's just like, I'm fine, guy. And so like the man is just like all happy and excited to see him and everything. But Doug doesn't remember who he is. So after that exchange is over, like we get to like Carrie and Arthur. So Carrie's getting some TV dinners, and Arthur's all like, "What TV dinners? Your mother would turn over in her grave," and everything's all like, "I remember. Like I used to come home, and your mother used to cook like a real Thanksgiving meal, and it smelled like love." Now Arthur's thing is, he's very old, forgettable, cranky. He shouts a lot throughout the entire series, and it's so loud it gets on people's nerves and stuff. And he's horny like I don't know what. He's always hitting on older women and stuff. So like, and he lives with them, which Doug hates because that used to be Doug's like man cave down in the basement. Now it's Arthur's like room and stuff. So he convinces her to make like a Thanksgiving like real meal, and she's like, "All right, fine, just the three of us." He's like, "Wait a minute, we need to invite your uncle and your aunt and their nieces and the stepdaughter that you never met and all this other stuff." And then so they go back and forth. She's like, "Fine, whatever. I'll cook a Thanksgiving meal for 10 people." But she has no idea how to do that whatsoever. Now I cook Thanksgiving meals, and I love my stuff. Sometimes my turkey comes out great, sometimes it doesn't. Like one year it'll be juicy and tasty, and other years it'll just be dry. One year it came out mushy. I kept ejecting it with like tons of stuff, but it kept making it loose and soggy. It was disgusting. It was mushy. It was mushy. I've never done that since. That was the first time I learned my lesson. And so Carrie and Arthur, they're like arguing over the size of turkey. There's a huge, like big turkey, an adult size one. And then there's this extremely tiny baby one. And the tiny baby one, it's like the size of like a small football, like a Nerf football. And she's all like, "This is fine, just for the three of us." This is before he convinced her to make it for like 10 people and stuff. So she gets the big turkey. Those two separate because he's like getting on her. Oh, no, he goes to look for something in a glass jar. So when he goes around the aisle to go look for it, she hears on the intercom system like clean up on aisle 4 because Arthur's always dropping stuff, and he drops tons of jars. So while Arthur is like doing his own thing, he sees like this woman on a display stand. Like, you know how they cook like sausages and little foods and they give them to people and they tell you, "Oh, you can go buy this for this much money." So he sees this woman. She's dressed in a Dutch outfit. She's not Dutch or nothing like that. And so he's liking her, he's feeling her and everything, like, and he's like trying to like ask her out and stuff like that. And also with Arthur, he wants yams. So he goes in where the yams at, and he talks to one of the workers, and he pulls out a scrawny, tiny little yam. He's all like, "Where do you keep the good ones at?" And the guy's all like, "We don't hide food and everything." Like, don't play me. I used to work in the grocery store years ago, back in my day, and we used to hide all the good stuff. So the guy takes the scrawny yam. He pretends to go in the back. Then he turns around. He's like, "Here you go." He's all like, "Now that's a yam." It's the same scrawny one. Arthur is so like senile and everything. So back with Doug, he sees the guy again. And he's like, "Crap." And so like the dude's all like, "Oh, hey man, I feel bad how things like ended with me and you back in the day, and that huge like breakup, not breakup, but huge like argument and stuff." He's all like, "Let me make it up to you." And Doug's like, "Nah, man, you ain't gotta do that." And he's like, "Let me make it up to you." So he writes him a check. He's like, "I'll give you some money to pay you back for all those times." Doug has no idea what this man is talking about. So the man's like, "How much you want? Like 100?" And Doug's like, and he's all like, "2?" And he's like, 550. And the man's like, "All right, fine, I get it. My money's not good for you and everything." And he's all like, "Man, why did I do things like this?" Then the dude starts beating himself up, thinking he's like a terrible person and always messing stuff up. So he gives Doug his phone number and leaves. And so Doug at some point meets with Carrie, and Doug is having like, he gives her like a grape. He has tons of free food in his hand. That's not free. He just didn't pay for it. And he's all like, and everybody knows that grapes, nuts, things in the barrel, pretty much naked food in the store is free. I remember one time when I was younger, when I was with my family, we went shopping with this other family, and the lady was just like eating grapes from like the store. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't do that. Like, you didn't pay for them. And she gave them, she's like, oh, I'm going to pay for them when I get up to the register. I saw that woman put the thing of grapes back in the thing and take off, like walking real fast. But a lot of people do that. They'll eat stuff or drink something. Then when they get to the cash register line, they'll pay for it then and stuff. But I bet you anything with that, like self checkout, I bet they don't be doing that now. And so Carrie, she still know how to like do like Thanksgiving thing, but she sees the woman who parking. Oh, I forgot to mention that part. So in the beginning of the episode, they're looking for a parking spot, and they steal it from this one woman. Pretty much, it's like a Fast and the Furious type moment. And so the lady was angry with her ever since then. I can't believe I forgot that part. So anyway, she meets this woman in the store, and she's asking this lady, oh, so how do you make this and do that? So the lady, and what do you make your stuffing with? So the lady starts telling her. And then she's all like, oh, wait, it's you who took my parking spot. And then she don't want to share her recipes and stuff, so she leaves. So Carrie starts walking around the store, and then her and Doug, they're like, they're getting like box stuff and canned stuff, like canned yams and cranberry sauce and box of stuffing and mashed potatoes. And Carrie's all like, this is fine. I don't know what I'm doing, but I can like whip mash and chuck food and everything. And Arthur comes back. He's all like, canned food, box food, what about homemade and everything? Your mother would turn around her grave and everything. So she's like, fine, whatever, I'll make everything from scratch. So she has a plan. She starts following the woman around the store, and every time the woman takes something off the shelf, she'll take it off. And then so when she meets Doug again, she's all like, she'll just like, shop item from item, and she'll learn how to mash it together when she gets home and stuff. And so Doug is all like, oh wait, I ran into that guy again. Give me your cell phone, Carrie, so I can call him, get his machine, and find out his name. Now this is back in the old days when they had like the older cell phones and no caller ID, but star 69 to like, find out who called you and stuff. So Doug calls, but then he realizes that the dude gave him his cell number. So the dude is like right around the corner. So Doug like hangs up, and Doug sees the guy again. And dude's all like, man, can you believe this? Somebody prank called me. But you know what? I'm gonna find out who it is. Star 69. And Doug's like, crap. And so the man realizes coming from Doug's cell phone, he gets pissed. It's like, oh, I see what's going on. You just can't let things go, huh? Because of what happened in the past and everything. I see you haven't changed at all. And Doug's all like, hey, man, I have changed. But Doug doesn't have no idea what he's talking about. And then so the man and him get into this huge argument, and they just like go their separate ways, right? So then the woman realizes Carrie is like following her in the store. She tells her to stop. And then the lady takes off running, and Carrie's like begging. She's like, please, I need to like cook for 10 people and I don't know how. At this point in time, Arthur is hitting on the other lady, and she invites him to Thanksgiving. So he's all like, sure, I can get out of my plans with my family. All that just to get himself some. So like, when the woman has her back turned to Carrie, Carrie runs and steals her shopping cart, which is filled to the top. And she sees Doug. She's like, just keep going, and don't look back. But the lady finds her and like gets her cart back. So Carrie's just like, you know what, I feel defeated. So she puts everything back and gets those TV dinners again. Then when they get to the cash register line, she's fussing out her dad because he blew them off to go be with that other lady. And she tells him, if you go to that woman's house, I'm gonna put you in a nursing home. So he decides, all right, TV dinners are fine. And Richie is still in the grocery line, still hasn't even checked out yet. So towards the end of the very episode, when the credits roll, we see Donnie Osmond and everything. He's with the yam guy, and he's all like, where you keep the good yams? He's like, wait right here. And he has like a skinny, scrawny one. He comes back with a ginormous yam. Oh no. Oh, I'll get into this part later. I forgot this one part. So he come back with a ginormous yam. So he keeps the good stuff in the bag for sure. It's kind of cool to see Donny Osmond again. But ooh, Doug, I forgot about him and the man. So he sees the man again in the cash register line, and he apologizes. And he tells the man, "Hey man, just come over to my house for Thanksgiving. You know, my wife's cooking like TV dinners, and it ain't much, but it's something." So the man agrees, and Doug's all like, "Do you need my home address?" Or no, he said, "Let me give you my home address." And the man's all like, I see you there, man. The man knows where Doug lives at. Now, granted, Doug has not seen this man in over 20, 30 years. And the man has his home address. It is insane. This is one of my all-time favorite, like, Thanksgiving episodes. It's just hilarious. There's no, like, sitting around the table, no this and that, but it's just different and hilarious. Now, ironically, in the next seasons to come, which I will talk about, she actually does learn how to cook a Thanksgiving dinner and everything. But this is probably because either she just learned or the writers just forgot. Why I say that? Because this show, it explains how Carrie and Doug met on, it changed the continuity of how they met a long time ago. First, they was friends in high school, then they never, then the continuity changed to where they didn't even know each other and this and that. And so, who knows, you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things. Well, didn't that just fill you up? Well, alrighty, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.